Good morning. This is the official start. We are pleased to have you join us in person or on the net for our Shotsuki Hoyo service for December of 2022. We'll be chanting San Butsu Ge in a bit. I'll give a Howa. We're still gonna do In Lumbini's Garden, sing In Lumbini's Garden, and we'll read the devotional piece, The Three Treasures, which is on page 10, if memory serves. Yes, page 10. So I'm going to begin the service by ringing the calling bell, and as I've warned you, once I'm up there speaking, I'm going to lose the mask so that you can hear me more clearly. But we are being careful here. We ask everyone's vaccinated. Everybody right now is wearing a mask. Do, all of you, still please be careful. People are still dying left and right. Good morning again. Thank you for attending the service. This will be our Shotsuki Hoyo service, our memorial service for those who passed in the month of December. And I will begin by reading the names of those we know who have passed in December. Members of the temple and friends of the temple we know that we must honor here today. And so if I may, I will begin our December Shotsuki Hoyo list, beginning with Alai Misao, Doi Catherine, Doi Setsuyo, Fujikawa Sono, Fujimori Eileen Kozue, Fujimoto Toshihiro, Gibbs George K, Hamada Kane, Hamada Tani, Hamada Umetaro, Hatakeyama Mary Satomi, Hatakeyama Same, Hayashi Masaki, Kaizoji Hisashi, Kaizoji Kimiko, Kawamoto Dave, Kawamoto Koichi, Kobuke Ayano, Kushigoe Towa, Kuramoto Kazue, Kurumoto Risaburo, Marumoto Hagino, Masumoto Asano, Masumoto Ichiro, Mitsuoka Mitsuru, Morioka Fumie, Morishita Mago-Saemon, Morishita Mago-Saemon, Murakami Tsuru, Naito Mutsue, Nishimoto Masuichi, Nishimoto Reiko Irene, Nishimura Kinsuke, Nishimura Yoshitaka, Okumoto Kosaku, Okuno Fukaichi, Omokawa Tonoyo, Oshita Teru, Otani Saikichi, Ozawa Lin, Sakahara Saikichi, Sakamoto Masai, Sano Hashi, Sasaki Masano, Sasaki Sokichi, Shigeno Norumi, Shinmoto Sechiko, Sugihara Chieko, Sugita Tsuji, Thunada Akira, Takai Tokichi, Takeda Seiichiro, Takenouchi Sato, Tanigawa Kameo, Teroka Eizo, Tsukida Sugio, Umeta Shina, Umeta Tetsuo, Uemura Shizue, Watanabe Giichi, Yamanaka Shio, Yamanaka Masao, Yamane Miyako, Yamasaki Keinichi, Yamasaki Masuo, Yamasaki Soyo, Yamasaki Sumito, Yamashita Ichino, Yonesawa Sokichi. Namo Tavatsu, 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 We will now proceed to the Sutra chanting portion of our service, and you'll find the San Butsu Ge on page 33 in the service book. Today, on this occasion of the December 2022 Shotsuki Hoyo service, we ask you to join us in the reverent chanting of the San Butsu Ge as we rely upon the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Namo Tavatsu, Namo Tavatsu, Namo Tavatsu. Busatsu Daimuryo Jukyo San Butsu Ge Kogen Gigi Ijin Mugoku Nyode Enmyo Muyo Tosya Nichigaten Mani Shuko Enyo Kaishten Nonpe Yunyaku Jumoku 如来有言小生無輪小学大音コルジポ開門精進三昧知恵意徳無量修正敬有人体前年小仏崩壊愚人人の君言愛体無名欲ぬ生存読む民の死人徳無量空君古代知恵人名光明意図神道大戦願が差仏大正法華道生じ未不芸達不定上位大人精進妙税三昧知恵以上合成特仏不行志願一切空空一切大安決し不仏百千億万無量大小中日五者不要一切使徒小仏不尿愚道天正不逆非尿五者小仏世界不不影無臭節道光明師匠天使小国妙で精進異人難量ヨガタ仏極道第一五種奇妙道場超絶極妙内音二無闘争ガト愛民道達一切七宝来生新熱少女意図雅国経楽安穏公仏神妙霊が神書没願の日力小小欲実法生存知恵無下少量子孫知が神行軽量神死食毒中家業精進人寿不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブガニシクドク平等性一切上もない真おじよナマンダ仏ナモミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナモミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏ナモミダ仏 Well, thank you so much for joining in the Sutra chanting. We are going to move on to the singing of the Gatha in Lumbini's garden. Many of you have done this many times. Please join in. We don't want the people on the internet to just hear me. And that is 117. Yeah, 117. Page 117 in the service book. In Lumbini's garden. Softly blew the breezes on that glorious was born. From the earth sprang flowers, birds in warbles sang. Through the earth and heavens, strains of music rang. Gods and men and angels all for worship came. Glory to Siddhartha, glory to his name. Okay, thank you. I'll ask you to stand for the devotional reading briefly, and that'll be the Three Treasures on page 10. If we may, I'll do the first part and you all join me from there. The Three Treasures. How rare and wondrous it is to have been born into human life, and now I live it. How rare and wondrous it is to be able to listen to the Buddha Dharma, and now I am able to hear it. If I do not transcend the world of delusion in this life, when will I ever attain spiritual liberation? May I, along with the entire Sangha, with sincere heart and mind, rely on that which can be truly relied on in life, the three treasures. I rely on the Buddha. May I, along with all sentient beings, awaken to the great path with my entire being and discover the highest aspiration, which is to become a Buddha. I rely on the Dharma. May I, along with all sentient beings, deeply reflect on the meaning of the sutras and gain wisdom that is as deep and vast as the ocean. I rely on the Sangha. May I, along with all sentient beings, become one Sangha of life, able to move forward and live with a dynamic spirit that is hindered by nothing. The unsurpassed, deep, and wondrous Dharma, even in millions of kalpas, is extremely difficult to encounter, but now I am able to experience and embrace it. May I come to understand and revere the true meaning of the Tathagata. Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu, Namo Amitabutsu. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Well, again, good morning. Ooh, it's raining outside. This is our December Shotsuki Hoyo service for the year 2022. Since we're on the net now, I should probably mention the year. Thanks for joining us, whether in person, we have a nice group of people here, or virtually. If you could only sign in on the net, well, you might have made a good decision because the rain's starting to come down pretty hard out there. As always, I must thank the team members here, Alan Goto for doing all the hard lifting on the tech, Kathy Kumagai for doing the sine qua non, that which absolutely must be done of getting this actually onto the net for us, and Kyoko Okura Gibbs for doing the flowers, as she almost always does. And I must thank all the members of the temple for keeping this Buddhist spiritual center alive. This is, again, our Shotsuki Hoyo service, and I'm sorry if you lost some of those people whose names we read. I'm sorry if you were close to some of those who have passed in the month of December. My father's name was one of those I read. He died December 15th of 1994, the Ides of December. A lot of men of my generation never became very close to their fathers. I loved my father, although we were not close. Sometimes we are entwined with people whom seldom show us warmth, but who we care for anyway. We are also living lives intermingled with those with whom love is mutual, with friends and family members. Some of them love us more than we can understand, more powerfully than we can take in. We're also connected to people we barely have any feeling for, to be honest. There's a little strip mall in La Cañada right across from Ralph's, and I frequent 3 businesses. There's only 5 places, and 3 of them I go to. And one of them's a donut shop, and one of them's a dry cleaner, and the other's a T-Mobile store. And the gentleman who runs the donut shop is never very friendly. I'm not saying he's mean, never very friendly, you know. So I don't know his name, and if I ran into him walking down the street, I probably wouldn't recognize him, even though I see him once a week, you know. Because like, here's 1850, and that's all I get from him, you know. Next door, the T-Mobile store. Now, I lost my phone in Missouri, in Missouri about 2 months ago, and I had a heck of a time. I got a new phone, and I couldn't put it together, and I broke it, and then I had to buy another phone, and this one guy at T-Mobile really did a nice job of helping me to figure out how to get the dang thing going again, you know? And so, you know, right after that, I'd go to the donut shop and think, I should get some donuts and take it to him. And then I'm thinking, he might not be there, and the rest of the guys going, what's going on? Why did he do this? So I didn't do that. You know, I didn't do that. However, the next store over, the dry cleaning store, I walk in there about 4 months ago, and the owner had just 5 minutes before I got a phone call to find out that his father was terminally ill. And he was really disturbed. Some of us have had this experience where our family doesn't tell us about how bad it is, you know, and then they, oh, by the way, your father's dying, you know. You could have brought that up earlier on, you know. So that's what happened to him. He just suddenly, and the father died pretty soon, because I went in when my tag was ready, less than a week later, and the grandchildren were running the store. And so I asked him, you know, and I asked him not just the grandfather had passed, and I said, like, your father, is he doing okay? And they said, yeah, he's doing okay. I was afraid he might be a danger to himself. He was so distressed, you know. Never had a conversation with the guy before. Spoke to him with about 3 minutes, you know. You know, I felt sad for him, and I wanted to do something, and I really didn't know what to do. I'm pretty sure they're not Buddhist. They're Chinese American, and I think they're Christian. And I spoke to the guy like for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, you know, and I talked to his grandson for like 2 minutes. Boy, they remember me. They treat me so nice now. 510.5 Foothill Boulevard, Palace Dry Cleaning. It doesn't matter if you call this kind of feeling sympathy or compassion or empathy or kindness. What matters is the connection, having a connection and seeing it, noticing it. The conscious connection with another person, that's what matters. We are connected to everyone, but again, not equally closely. Interacting with people, becoming closer to them, makes that interrelation that we talk about more real, more effective, more important for us. What does interdependence mean? It means that if you walk in a store and the person's sad, you care. So if you live in this area, consider going to the Palace Cleaners, 510.5 Foothill Boulevard. Is promoting a dry cleaning business the sort of thing a Buddhist minister should do at a service? Yes, absolutely. I'm making some points here. That's what interdependence means. In other words, you get some guy just out of theology school, just out of the seminary. We're all interdependent. Everything is connected with it. Oh, yeah. We've heard that before. It's not that it's not true. It's that it's abstract and dry and unmotivating. Everything's interdependent. Yeah. This guy, Maybe still alive because I talked to him for 3 minutes, you know. He was really, really distressed. This is what interdependence means. Concrete events, real people, your connection to them. Animals too, you know. People that make fun of animal lovers are just stupid, you know. I briefly had a girlfriend, it was 49 years ago, and I said the words, you know, I used to have this relationship with this dog, and she'd just go, a dog? Oh, give me a break, you know. I never dated her again. If you can't understand that, you don't get it at all. You don't get what this life is about. We have relationships with dogs and cats and birds and anything we can be with long enough. You know, one of the people I studied Zen with was Robert Aitken Roshi. One of the people I studied Zen with was Robert Aitken Roshi. Died by suicide. Everything is everything, but I can't bear it and I'm going. No, Craig is somebody. Kathy is somebody. We have a relationship with one another. That is real. That is interdependence. We don't go jumping out of windows because we have people that care about us and people we care about, you know. But if you stay at that level, everything is everything. Everybody has Buddha nature. Oh yeah, that's sure inspiring, isn't it? No, this guy's going to die if I don't say the right word. That matters. So chat with your dry cleaner and his family. On the other hand, I went for lunch, and there was a guy at Cindy's restaurant, the waiter, and he was really rude, and I'll never go back there again in the morning. We have connections with other people that grow deeper with conscious attention to our interaction with them. 20 years ago, the mayor of LA, James Hahn, was running for re-election. And I was at Nishibetsuin, so he asks the Japanese-American Buddhist Temple, the big one in town, could you send a Buddhist priest to our prayer breakfast, you know? So I go to his prayer breakfast. You know what he wanted. And he was trying to build a coalition. African-Americans were pro-Han, Mexican-Americans were anti-Han, white people mostly poor. He's thinking, Asian-Americans, if I could draw them in, right, I'd have one more little gear in my wheel. So I'm introduced to him, and he shakes hands with me like this. It's very nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. I have to go now. I mean, the whole time he shook my hand, he was looking around the room for someone more important. I didn't vote for his re-election. Don't be like James Hahn. Look at people when you greet them. We must make the effort to appreciate our encounters with others. If they're nasty, don't interact with them anymore. If they're nasty and they work at businesses, don't go to that business anymore. They're really nice to me at that dry cleaning shop now. At the time of my 20th year high school reunion, one of my old friends from childhood, from 3rd grade, couldn't make it. So I back then it was letters, US mail. I sent him a letter and said, well, why don't we get together sometime? I haven't seen you in 20 years. And he, through the circumstances of the moment, we ended up meeting in San Francisco for dinner. And he told me a story how when the most dangerous bully in our high school disassembled my bicycle, he helped him do it. And he's thinking, that was 20 years ago, it's a cute story, huh? Not very cute to me. What we got is somebody I thought was my friend who never really was. Never really was, you know? This bully, you know why he was disassembling my bicycle? Because he was afraid of me. I was constantly verbally bullied by other people at school, but the physical guys went away. He was bullying me one time, and I just put my arms around him and held him as tight as I could, and he lost consciousness and fell down. And then he woke up, and he got up like this and ran the other way. Was just only his concern, did anybody see that, you know? So he never would threaten me anymore. Now he's disassembling my bicycle when I'm not there. But this guy helped him, you know, so, oh, geez. And yet, he made a remark that was really meaningful to me. He said to me, he meant it as condescending. But he said to me, I couldn't believe how you had such trust in goodness. I found that a very interesting remark. I couldn't believe how you had such trust in goodness. Let me ask you a few rhetorical questions. Do you trust the Buddha? Some of you do. Do you trust in the vow of universal liberation, Hongon? Well, maybe to some extent, certainly, some of you do. Do you believe and trust in goodness? Of course you do. Every one of you. This is what spirituality is, trusting in goodness. Trying to insult me, this guy comes up with this phrase that's just the right phrase. This is what this place is about. The Buddha Dharma is trust in goodness. The Buddha Dharma is the discovery of goodness. We know this goodness is discovered in other ways, in other traditions. That's what makes us important. We are encountering that which is good and true here. If you find goodness here, come back regularly. Tune in regularly. Could we put the matter more succinctly? No. Probably not. Probably not. If you find goodness in the teachings and the practices that you encounter here, please come back. Come back regularly. Tune in often. Wherever you find goodness, go there repeatedly. Nothing is more important. I will close the Dharma message portion of the service and remind myself what we do next very shortly. And I will close this portion of the service, as I always do, by saying the Buddha's name aloud along with you. Those who are not averse to doing so, please join me in saying the Nimbutsu for about a minute and a half. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Buddhas. Namo Buddhas. Namo Nimbutsu. Namo Buddhas. Namo Buddhas. Namo Nimbutsu. Namo Nimbutsu. Namo Buddhas. Namo Buddhas. Namo Buddhas. Namo Nimbutsu. Namo Buddhas. Thank you very much. I think we're ready for announcements, right?
Hi, I'm Kathy. Today, I would like to thank everybody who came out to help yesterday at our semi-annual temple cleanup and omigaki. And omigaki means cleaning of the altar adornments. And if you notice the big hanging lamps, they're gorgeous today because the BWA and Kyoku-san and Reverend Gibbs helped us take them down, take them apart, wash them, and put them back up, reassemble them again. So they look lovely, and we had help cleaning as much as both the inside of the temple and cleaning the gardens, the beer garden and the, what we call the beer garden, and the tea garden in the back. And thank you very much to our SOGs for coming up with our duty list, and that really was helpful, and for making us our entrees. That was like an exceptional tri-tip sandwich, and for those who didn't come, we're sorry you missed out. But you can come help us in June when we do it again. So it was really wonderful. Everything looks shiny and clean, and we really, really thank you. I feel really ready for the end of the year and the start of the new year, 2023. Next week is our Osebo service, where we express our gratitude to the many people who've helped us this year. And if you've ordered anything from our multitude of fundraisers by our different groups. Those will be available for pickup next week. Seas candy, kamaboko, and tuna sashimi. And if you ordered mochi from San Fernando Temple, that will be arriving in the early afternoon? It'll be here already? Okay. So there will be multiple things to pick up. If you'd like to come to Osebo, we are trying to get a head count for next week. There is an RSVP attached to the e-blast. If you did not get one, just let Jeannie know, me know if you're coming next Sunday. And there'll be no service on the 25th, but we are here for Ojoyae on the 31st, the last day of the year, at 6 p.m., a different time than when we usually gather. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. And we do want announcements. I'm sorry if I sometimes cut people off too quickly. Everything's the same next week, that's all. Through the next 2 weeks for me, the Tai Chi class, 1 o'clock Tuesday, Thursday, you can look it up. Buddhist studies, meditation, all the same for 2 weeks. Then I'll be on vacation for about 10 days. And I do hope to see some of you again over this next 2 weeks, and maybe even while I'm on vacation. Do we have anyone else that has something of interest to announce? Yeah, so as Kathy mentioned, the usual protocol is you come up to make an announcement, you offer the incense, and then come here. But Buddhist ministers can be prickly. You ever remember what happened when Tatsuno Sensei would see somebody stand up there and start talking? We go, "You come up here," to them. And I go, "Too long," you know. So do excuse us. We have our own training, and it is not always good. But I thank you all for being here. And again, as Kathy has said, please be here next week for our Osebo, actually combination Osebo and Bodhi Day service. And if no one else has something they need to announce, I'm going to go ahead and close the service officially, if I may. Thank you so much for coming this morning. We really appreciate your presence. It's, you know, during COVID, I'd look at 2 people, and then who knows who's out there in Cyberland. It's very nice to see so many people here this morning. Thank you. Again, we rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Nam Thank you.